Hey YouTube, I know it's been a while, but had some other stuff going on. I've got some cutting boards drying, so I decided I wanted to do something fun because cutting boards really are not very fun to make, honestly. But people buy them. So I found this little piece of African sumac crotch, and it's got really nice color. The heartwood oxidizes pink, and the sapwood stays really blonde. It's got a nice crotch feather here, so this is going to be the bottom. I'm going to try and keep as much of that figure as I can. But this stuff cracks so bad. See there, this is actually not one of the worst ones. But so yeah, it's going to be just kind of an art piece. And they don't go all the way through. Usually they kind of stop part of the way in. So I'll be turning a bunch of these away. So there's a few in the final piece. I don't mind. Bark is not going to stay on, so I'm not going to worry about this. And yeah, we'll just get it mounted up between centers and get going. So I was just measuring here to get the top of the actual wood even, so that when I'm done, all three wings of this heart-shaped bowl will be approximately the same height. We'll make it out of balance here. It's kind of out of whack. It's at an angle right here. But fix that pretty quick here, and that will have the side effect of getting rid of this pith and this worst crack here. And as I get started here, I'm going to be using this brand new bowl gouge here I got from Find By Tool. It's M2 Cryo high-speed steel, and I was just thinking about upgrading my main 5/8 bowl gouge. And then these guys emailed me and said, hey, we'll send you a free thing if you do a review. So, well, okay, cool. I'll take free stuff. It doesn't have my swept back grind on it, and this is straight out of the package, so I have no idea if it's sharp. But the finish on it is really nice. This ferrule is really beefy and solid. I think this is an ash handle. So overall, it looks really nice. We'll see if it's sharp. I'll probably have to sharpen it anyway, but just see how it goes right out of the gate here. I turned the speed down to about 625 or 684, I guess, that pulley setting, because it is going to be out of balance when I start here. I don't want it to fly off. Okay. Bark. Go. Does not feel especially sharp out of the box, so I'm going to go ahead and sharpen that up. After a brief touch on the sharpening wheel, this thing cut much nicer, but I'm still taking really light cuts because I really just want to bring down that high side, because I'm trying to really preserve that crotch feather in the bottom of the bowl. So I'm trying to take as little as I need to off of the bottom so I don't just carve away all that figure. This crack goes all the way down to the pith, all the way over to here, so definitely need to work that down a little bit further. I just made a tenon on there. I'm gonna clean that up, but I'm gonna flip it around and put in my jaws first and turn it another tenon on the other side just so it's holding it a little bit better because of all these cracks. I don't want it to fly apart. Now, the reason I put the tenon on the top was for this right here. I wanted to be able to finish this foot completely before I flip it around in hollow, because this thing's, it's not that big. It's only 6 inches and it's going to have the natural edge. So it'd be a little awkward to flip around and have to refinish the bottom. So this just makes it a lot easier and cleaner, and then I don't have extra material I'm wasting on the bottom, carving away possibly the nice figure that I'm going for. Be able to get that crotch feather right in the bottom of the bowl, the inside. It's kind of cool. We got these 2 dark streaks here as well. These are going to be a neat little piece. And I found at my craft markets I've been at recently that people like weird pieces, at least the clientele I'm dealing with. All my regular like snack type bowls, they're not selling, but weird, unique things like this are. So that's what this is for. So I'm just finishing up the outside here and doing some negative rate scraping, some shear scraping, etc. And the finish is coming out pretty nice. This wood is super close grain, but all the air from the cracks and the natural edge are making it a little bit difficult, but it's almost there. I'm shocked at this bark staying on. Honestly, I don't remember when this was cut. I was out for a run one day and the landscapers were cutting the tree, trimming it. The way it's holding on, it might have been in the winter or fall, because usually everything that falls down in the summer, all the bark comes off. So it's a shame I had that big chunk missing at the beginning, but it is what it is. So I'll get this sanded up and we'll flip it around. Okay, I sanded up to 400. And I'm just going to use some regular shellac sanding sealer. Look at that. Shit torrents on that. Jeez, I almost thought I didn't have anything on there. It was so shiny. Ah, that's going to look really cool on the inside. I'll get a couple coats of this on and then flip it around and hollow it out real quick. All right, I got 3 coats of shellac on there, and we'll see what it looks like at the end. But I'll hollow this out, and actually, when I flipped it around, I saw these cool little, I don't know, burly nubs that showed up under the bark. I don't know if there's any more under here, but they're kind of far from the edge, and I don't really want that thick of a bowl, so I don't know if I'm going to try and save them or not. I'm going to dig down here first and then see what happens to the bark and go from there. And I have not sharpened this new gouge, so I'm just going to keep going and see how long it lasts, because that's supposedly what the M2 Cryo will do over just regular high-speed steel, which was my regular one. So we'll see if it stays sharp. This stuff is actually pretty hard. So anyway, here we go. Final thoughts on this gouge after I've used it for this whole bowl and only sharpened that one time at the very beginning. I really like it. It stays sharp for quite a while, even on some really hard wood. And I may actually go get a couple other of those tools out of the M2 steel. So that cryo process did do better than my normal gouge, so I'll definitely be looking at some more of those. And check out the link in the description if you're interested in it for yourself. All right, let's call that good. I could keep chasing this torn grain, but these wings are just flapping around, and it's better to just sand it. A nice crotch for there across there. And this is going to be a pretty cool little piece. I'm going to chip the rest of this bark off, and we'll get it sanded up. Hey, sand it up to 400 again. I'm going to try and just use the smallest amount I can get away with here, so it doesn't drip through those cracks. Look at that. That is cool. That's a cute little bowl. Place for your keys or something. I was not going to have a snack out of that, but pretty neat little piece. All right, we'll do a couple more coats and maybe do some polish, and we'll show you the final result. So unfortunately, this is the only after pick I got of this bowl since I finished it, and I had a couple other things to do before the market that Sunday, and it sold almost immediately when the market opened. So I had to do a panic photo on my table at the market. But what you're seeing is the color is a significantly redder, pinker than when I put the finish on. And this is something I learned from Don Mitchell with Arizona Woodturners, that it oxidizes in the sunlight, and the heartwood gets really pink when you do that. So actually I set it out for an entire day in the sun here, and it really brought out the pink color in the heartwood, and it turned out nice, and the customer was super excited to have it.